Okay, this is the first video in a series of 9 or 10 that I plan to make. I call it episode 4 because I skipped the first 3. I didn't really feel like starting with the basic stuff. And episode 4, that worked out okay for Star Wars, so anyway, that's what I decided to do. I also have discovered that I can't really do a lesson in 10 minutes, so today's, I believe, is going to be two parts, and in the future I guess there'll be multiple parts as well. The way I'm going to try to do it is focus on one song and use that song sort of as an example of more general ideas about guitar playing. Like a lot of songs share similarities with each other, and so anyway, I'm going to try to talk more about maybe the song structure than the song itself, if that makes any sense. I know these videos are going to be a little bit disjointed, a lot disjointed. It's just sort of the way that I can get them done. If I try to make them too slick, I just never get started on them. It just seems too daunting of a task. So I will cut and paste and put them together as best I can. But hopefully they'll be okay. They might not be pretty, but they hopefully I will include everything I know about, we'll call it acoustic folk or acoustic Americana, finger picking acoustics, what I call it, country blues, whatever you want to call it. Basically acoustic guitar, finger picking is what I'll be trying to show, and I'll try to show everything I know about it, and people can learn it a lot quicker than I did, I hope. And I'm going to try to focus on things that I've found over the years that I discovered that were fairly important as far as this type of guitar playing goes. And I wish someone had shown them to me when I was younger, and I believe I would have been a lot better player at a lot younger age. So I guess that's it, and hope you find these useful. Let me know if you do, and let me know if there's anything I should change about them. And if you have any questions, I guess ask them in the comments section, and let's get started. Okay, a very quick example of the use of an anchor finger for those who are not already familiar with the concept. We're going to use Buddy Holly's song, Not Fade Away. It's got 3 chords in it, E, A, and D, just chorded in the normal fashion. The index finger at the 1st fret, 3rd string, in the E chord, slides down when you transition to the A, 2nd fret. Reposition the other 2 fingers, you've got your A, then you reposition those 2 fingers again, leaving the index finger exactly where it is, and you've got D. Using an anchor finger allows you to make the transitions quicker, more accurately. It's handy if you can go to another chord, keeping one finger in place or sliding it on the same string to another location. It's helpful. You're probably already doing it without thinking, but sometimes it helps to think about it. Even if you have to have to finger a chord a little bit differently. So that's pretty useful. But then for this song it would be. Okay, the song that we're going to focus on in this video is Tomorrow Is a Long Time by Bob Dylan. I first heard it on many years ago on Rod Stewart's Every Picture Tells a Story album. I will do the song completely and post it in another video, so I won't play very much of it here. Because look at this. Okay, first thing we'll focus on is the index finger, the anchor finger. And the anchor finger in this case is a true anchor. It stays there for the entire song, and it's the little finger, and it goes on the G note, the high E string, the 3rd fret. So that leads us in. There are 3 key things I want to point out in this video for this song and songs of a similar structure. And that is making a G chord like this. It's difficult when you first start playing. Most people make it like this, and I still do. It's fine to make it, but sometimes you want to finger it differently if it's convenient to the song. So I kind of went through a transition when after that G, I started playing G like this, fretting both of these, and then you're a little bit closer. If you lift that string, your finger, the third, you've got a G like that, and next thing you know, you're fretting it like this. But I still can't fret this as cleanly. If I'm playing some chord down here and then quickly, I can go from something down here pretty quickly. But I can't do it really very quickly at all like that. It's like a beginner would be trying to fret that thing all at one time. So, but the thing is, when you're playing songs like this one, you don't need to, because you're all going to be doing everything all up here. And those, I'm going to show you those 3 key little positions. And so it's all around this anchor finger right here. And one thing too that's really nice, and I'll go into this in another video in more detail, when you're finger picking, one of the nice things is if you can't fret a string, if you're having trouble and it always comes out muted, or if it doesn't fit the chord, it makes the chord sound funny. You don't have to finger pick it. You don't have to hit it with your right hand. So it doesn't matter. So we can have this fretted all the time, and if it's not part of the chord, if it made the chord sound bad, just don't finger pick it. So we can leave this here the entire song. Alright, so you really want to learn this highly functional G fingering, I'll call it, because it allows you to transition to these other chords. Then there's a chord off of this called the Dylan C. I got that from a book that I bought probably 20 years ago. And what it is you keep your G, chord like this, and then you just bring these 2 fingers and you place them where you would for a C. Now the difference is this finger is still fretted, this finger is still fretted. You still have both of these G's there, and you don't move this one to the A string to make a C. That would be your regular C, but in the Dylan C, it sounds like this instead of. And you can kind of hear that when you make that chord. You might subconsciously think of a Bob Dylan song. And another chord position that's very handy, because you've got I guess this would be 1, 4, 5, G, C, and then the next chord would be D. And you can make a D7 from here. Again, we're keeping this as our anchor finger. And we come around, use the thumb to fret this string, and make the D7 chord with these 2 fingers, and we're just going to ignore this one, so we won't pick when we're. We won't finger pick this string because it doesn't really fit the chord, although it doesn't sound too bad. And I want to make a comment too, and I'll go into this in another video too a little bit more. But there's a discussion oftentimes about whether or not the thumb should be used to over the top like that, or whether it should always be on the back of the guitar. And I'll go into that more in another video. But just be aware that some people have a difference of opinion on that, and I don't feel very strongly one way or the other. There are benefits to both ways and drawbacks to both ways, so I'll leave it at that.